Hi and welcome to our channel. If you have a child at home who is preparing for First Holy Communion this year, we have a really fun project for you.
And that project is this. This is our favorite First Communion preparation project, and that is a First Holy Communion scrapbook. But this album is unique because it's not just full of pictures from the big day itself, and it's not something that you're making after the fact either.
This is something that you make with your child throughout the school year. So it documents all the important steps of preparation along the way, and then after the big day has come and gone, you have this as a really fun keepsake of that special moment in time.
And they're not hard to make either. They don't take up a lot of time, and today we're going to show you how to do it.
So the first time I ever heard about making a First Communion album, I instantly fell in love with the idea. It is so simple and yet so awesome.
And before we get into the ins and outs of making the album and what goes into it, we did want to go over some of our reasons for why we love this project so much.
The first thing that I love about it is that it doesn't require a lot of fancy supplies. Basically, your biggest investment is just the album, and you can get these for 50% off at Hobby Lobby, or you can get them from a different craft store with a coupon. We got ours at Michael's back in the day with the 40% off coupon.
Working on the album together also makes First Communion prep a really special time. When I was making mine, we started in September, and we would set aside one night a month to work on the album, and that was usually when our boys were out of the house, so it was just the girls and we had no distractions.
No boys allowed. But when my son made his, we met with several families once a month. They all had kids receiving First Communion, so the kids would get together and work on the pages, and the moms helped out, and that was just a really fun thing. Everyone looked forward to that one night a month.
Another great thing about this project is that the craft supplies that you need are not costly. You don't need any fancy kit or book, or you don't need to go research craft projects online. All you need are basic supplies like paper, glue, scissors, markers, and any pictures of your kids that you might want to include, or things like holy cards or religious stickers.
It's a fun kickoff to the project to take your child to the craft store and pick out an album together, and maybe some paper or stickers. And these things aren't costly, especially if you hit a sale.
Also, coloring sheets are really fun to use with this project. There are tons of free places you can print them out online, and we'll link some of those in the description box for you. And you'll see when we show you our albums how we used all these different items, and it's really not hard to get this project up and running.
And our albums are 13 by 13, but you could definitely use whatever size works for you. I was at Hobby Lobby yesterday, and they had all different sizes, some really cool albums.
So now we're going to move in and start looking at the album itself, and we're going to start with the core pages of the album that deal with the most important topics that your child learns in First Communion prep, and then we'll go in and look at some of the additional pages that you might like to add also.
So we always start with a baby picture page, a baby picture of your child, and also pictures of the saint or saints that your child was named for. Now we just printed our saints pictures from the internet, and that worked fine. And we also took that time to review the life of each saint while we did the page.
And then there was a creation page where you take a picture of your child with something that he or she has created, and then you also have a page for each of the 7 days of creation. And while you're working on those pages, you can go over and talk about how God created the world and everything in it.
And then that leads you into the original sin page, the story of Adam and Eve. So we read the story together, and then I had Kate narrate the story back to me, and while she narrated it, I typed it out. But I'm just laughing because I seem to remember that she was not very enthusiastic that particular night. I guess she was just having a bad day or something.
And then I had this page where I colored a picture of John baptizing Jesus and wrote out different ways I could keep my soul pure. And that leads us right into the baptism page, where you could put pictures from their baptism. You could also put pictures of their godparents with their names, which we didn't do for whatever reason.
We missed that opportunity. And then after that, we did a page about the 7 sacraments. It was a sheet that I just printed online, and then I had Kate cut out each sacrament and color it, and then we talked about each sacrament while she created the page, so it was a good review.
The next pages are about preparing to make your first reconciliation, and we did a page on the 10 Commandments.
Then also, I had my kids do a page for examining your conscience, and then also reviewing the Act of Contrition, so we had a page just for that.
I was very glad I did not have to write that out.
Yeah, I remember Kate was, yeah, she was
That
like,
was
I'm not
another
write
hard
that.
time.
She just illustrated it for me. She wrote, Jesus, I am sorry for my sins. So then we had a page with pictures from the day of first reconciliation, and all the kids really enjoyed going together as a group, and then a friend of ours made this special cake for them with the white icing and the red letters, and the verse is from Isaiah 1:18. Your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they are red as crimson, they will be like wool.
Now everybody was very excited to have the cake, but you could also do something like vanilla ice cream with strawberry syrup on the day, and you can read the verse and discuss it before you eat.
So those are what I consider the core pages leading up to First Communion, but we added a lot of other pages, and you can get really creative with what you pick. For instance, I wrote letters to my kids and included them on a page like this.
I also had a guardian angel page, and while we were making that, we discussed what a guardian angel does and went over the guardian angel prayer.
And Kate wanted to include a page for her saint for the year, which at that time was Saint John Vianney, which was perfect.
And I also did a Blessed Mother page, and my brother did a similar one.
He also wanted to do a page for the patron saint of our church at the time, who was Saint Mark, so we included that in his.
And I also wanted to include this picture of the Divine Mercy, which I had actually folded and put in my pocket beforehand, so you can clearly see the creases on it. But oh well, that's real life. Again, you can tailor this however you want, depending on your child's wants or likes.
So then you're on to the day of First Communion itself. So just enjoy the day, but then later you can sit down with your child and pick out what pictures you want to include in the scrapbook. We even put a pocket on the back page of Kate's album to hold different types of mementos from the day, which Kate will show you now.
So this is what the back pocket looks like. We have a children's prayer before communion, and then prayers after communion glued on the back here, but this is the pocket we were talking about. So inside I have 2 holy cards. Then I also have this old confession card that you can bring into confession with you so you know what you're doing, which was from Catholic Heritage Curricula. We just printed it out and put it together. And then also in the back we have one of my invites for my First Communion as well.
So those are ideas to get you started on making an album of your own. It is such a nice remembrance for the day. I love to look back through the pages and see how small my kids were and how wobbly their handwriting was.
And it was so much fun to make, and I love being able to look back on it.
So again, we'll put some links down in the description box for you to pages that you can print out, and we'll also have a list of our core pages and a list of the extra pages that we made.
And we'll also, of course, be praying all throughout the year for the kids receiving sacraments. So we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you found it helpful. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.